Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Live with Sequoyah Fund. I'm Russ Siegel, your host and executive director of the Sequoyah Fund. Today, we're interviewing two great folks from Specialties Plus of NC. These are the folks who make us look good wherever we go. And I want to welcome Chris and Emily. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing great, Russ. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining me today.
We're here and
listen, I'm sitting here with some of the stuff that you guys have given us, because in the promotions business, you have to put things in our hands to make us believe, right? You have to put things in our hands to make us say, wow, we want to do that. And so I've got here this little box, and it's just this nondescript box that you guys sent me. But when I take the top of it off, and it's just, I've used this thing, but I keep it closed just because it's so cool. But when I open it, it's office supplies. It's everything. This is awesome. You guys are awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourselves, a little bit about your company, how long you've been around, and what you do.
Okay, so we are the NC Swag Girls, and we are known for eco products. This is a second generation business, maybe a third, hopefully, we'll see. So we were based out of Wilmington. I'm a Western graduate. Emily's a Western graduate. Basically everyone in this office, I think, is a Western graduate. And we've just kind of found one another and settled in this area. And so we bounce between the coast and here and providing eco products that are sustainable, reusable, and have a purpose.
So we've all been to trade shows. We've seen trade shows. We've seen the stuff that people give away. It's pens, it's Post-it pads, it's stress balls, and notebooks and other things like that. You might get some hand sanitizer and so forth. But why is it so important that people start looking at eco-friendly products to give to their customers?
I think that people have a misconception of the whole promotional product industry as a whole. We get excited by things that are beautiful. So for example, would you ever think that like a stone bamboo combo would be so beautiful and elegant and something you want to keep? I'd much prefer this over, say, that $1.50 whistle or some sort of highlighter pen thing I'm never going to use. So we aim pretty hard to find products that are different, but also are eco and sustainable, because they last and people are more inclined to want to keep them. What do you think, Em?
Not to mention, if they're keeping them, they're putting this lovely coaster on their desk. They see your logo under your drinkware every day. It's the perfect pairing for your longevity of your brand and the use of the product that's not going to be thrown in the trash.
Key, don't want it to go in the trash.
Don't want it to go in the trash. And well, I got to tell you, I got to show this off too, because you guys have worked with Sequoyah Fund for a long time now, and one of the things that I kind of thought, well, this is okay. This is a nice little different something that it's going to be a little more expensive than the stuff we normally buy. And you came to us and you said, you've got this crazy thing called a washable paper bag. And I thought, what? And so we ordered some of these with the Sequoyah. Now, this one is not in pristine condition, I will tell you, because it gets used a ton. But these things went crazy. People love these. We would give these away at events, and people would call us and say, where can I get some more of those washable paper bags with the Sequoyah Fund logo? We actually started putting some of our artists' basket weave, or at least one of our artists' basket weave designs on the other side. Where do you find stuff like this?
So we work really well with others in the industry. They have come to realize that we have a real passion for sustainable products, such as the washable paper bag. Just to show you a little preview. I don't know which way I'm going here. There we go. We now have this amazing washable paper pad folio that goes with those bags. So we are super excited about this product. So they kind of seek us out. They're like, hey, you guys test this out. I know you're going to use it. I know you'll give it to clients that are going to use it. Give us your feedback. So that's kind of how we started with some suppliers, and then it's just built. This week we did an unboxing, like I said, with the stone and bamboo pieces. That's this whole line. And they just like said, go for it. What do you think? And we were like, we love it. Speaking of, another really new product that we're super stoked about would be
Cotopaxi. It is a retail brand, and this bag is fantastic. I love the feel of everything, but the best part is every single bag is completely custom. There's a factory worker that goes through and picks each one of these fabrics, and no two bags are alike. So they're all these fun, bright colors. Here's a little fanny pack. But these are just fantastic outdoor gifting type selections or retail stores.
And they give back. So these products are give back products. They are employing people who otherwise might not have job opportunities. So it's like all these little factors that come into play to equal really greatness is the way we feel about it. So, you know, if you're wanting something a little different, that's kind of where we come in play. That's like our jam, or that's our hot secret sauce or whatever. Like, we're not going to just sell you something that everybody else is going to have. Like your paper bags. Like, we have been stopped all over with those bags. People are intrigued the fact that you can use it, wash it, and it patinas like leather. So like yours to you is very used, but it looks fantastic still, I think.
Yeah, it does. It really does
It's
start
really like your signature piece. We were just talking about that before. Everyone comes to you for that piece. That's what we're here for. Find your pen or your bag or your speaker, you know, like what is going to be your signature thing for your brand.
Right. And it's just been a hit. And you're right. It does, over time, it starts to look more like leather. And I got to tell you, you know, with this whole COVID thing, we have not been in the office every day. And so I'm in the office one day a week. And when I come in, I find that sometimes you have snuck into my office and you've put things on my desk, or you've had somebody put something on my desk. And so, yeah, I got this washable paper folio. I've been using this notebook, and it's great because it's got a place for my pen. It's got a place for business cards and so forth in there. And you
Power bank holder too.
Yeah, you might start to see some of these with some Sequoyah Fund logos on them in the future, because these are really cool. And again, this sets us apart. You know, we are native CDFI, and I think when people see that we are a quasi-tribal organization, people start to expect a little bit more from us in terms of eco-friendliness and environmental awareness. You know, I would consider myself a conservationist, not necessarily an environmentalist. But I do see that more and more when we go to trade shows, people are looking for things like this. You know, they don't want to carry the tchotchke home. They don't want to take that stuff home because they know it's going to end up in a drawer, or it's going to end up in the trash or a yard sale box. But this is the stuff that they use and they keep. And you do work with folks to come up with that signature piece. I know that, you know, talk to us a little bit about how we have worked together in the past. I know that we've talked about where we're going to go, what that market is like, and what are those people most likely to need, and what's going to be sticky with them. What are they going to hang on to that's got our brand on it when they throw everything else away? How do you work with clients in that regard?
I think one of the most important factors is really getting to know your client and their interests, and then their client and their interests. So, for example, a lot of people love drinkware. You just can never go wrong with it. So, for example, this is another one of our new signature pieces. It's got this cork bottom. It's got this matte finish, but it's insulated as well. The little touches are what are important to us. So the lid matches this because how many lids do we lose? But then the bottom also has this like really nice matting as well to ensure that the cork piece stays there. So we look to the client and say, okay, do you want a signature drink piece? Do you want a signature bag? This is something we suggest you always keep. So when they see that on the road or in someone's hands, they're like, oh, that's Sequoyah Fund. Okay, they're leading the way in eco-usable products. And what's something that you look for when you're dealing with some of the other clients?
I think all of that builds to just saying, what is going to be your conversation piece? You want to talk about your brand and you want someone to come up and say, hey, where'd you get that bag? Well, then that bag leads you into a conversation about, well, what's this logo on here? What do you do? And so you kind of can use it as a networking device to expand your brand. And, you know, when you a client, they're like, oh, I got this great bag from so-and-so over at Sequoyah Fund. And if you go talk to Russ, he can give you this, this, and this. So it's just a good way to branch and network as well.
And another thing to think about too, like everybody loves the t-shirt, right? So we partnered up with this amazing company and they mill out of Brooklyn. And first off, it feels like butter. Literally, I could just pet.
I will attest to that. Yes. I wear my Specialties Plus t-shirt all the time.
But you wouldn't know unless you read her shirt, right? Because you know the quality of it too is totally there. But this shirt is made out of plastic. And so again, when someone's like, okay, I want my people in t-shirts, we're like, okay, well, let's get off the Gildan tip. Let's talk about new lines that have taken plastics out. And then even going to the next level and thinking about the third or fourth or fifth generations coming up, you know, they see this and they're not going to want an old Gildan t-shirt. They're going to want that soft feeling t-shirt. Kind of like the straw movement, you know, we have clients that are strictly all about the straws. And so like our little nugget, she's out there promoting like no straws, you know, so she's even created her own little stainless steel branded straw to protect the ocean. So it's like not even realizing what one washable paper bag could do or one recycled t-shirt can do. It's really creating this awesome momentum, this force that a promotional product can do. Like, really?
Yeah, I mean, again, the t-shirts are like butter. You look at that and you go, that is the softest cotton I've ever felt. And then you realize it used to be a Coke bottle. They feel great. So I want to take a quick break here because we've talked about a lot of different products, and I know that if you're in business, you start getting catalogs. And people want to push all this promotional stuff on you, and you got tons of stuff, tons of choices. And the question is, how do you make all these choices? How do you help people weed through the literal tons and tons of options when you've got it down to, okay, they need drinkware. I've been to one of your shows. I've been to several of your shows. I know that it's not just drinkware. It's not just, I'm going to come up with a cup, or I'm not just going to come up with a bag. How do you help match these clients with these tons and tons of choices out there?
So what we go to in the office is basically asking them what they are going to use it for. What do you need it for? How do you want it to promote your brand? Do you want it to be this high-end piece that someone comes up to you and asks about, or do you want a quick give to mail out to someone? So it's just kind of looking to see through our signature pieces and our people that we work with, what's going to fit your need the best. It's really about the personalization between us and you and your client and how you're looking to use the product yourself.
You know, I think at least for us, it comes down to trust. There's this thing called the paradox of choice, that when we're given too many choices, we tend to vapor lock and we can't make a decision. If you're in a restaurant that has 10 items on the menu it's easier to make a choice than if you go to a restaurant that has 100 items on the menu. And, for us, we just look at you guys and say, I'm going to send an email. We know kind of what we want, but we need you to be the ones to narrow this down for us. And you do a fantastic job with that. And we trust you to do that.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
I want to shift gears a little bit because you're known for all the things we've been talking about. You're known for the promotional items. You're known for making people look good at trade shows, and for making sure people have nice things to give away when they go somewhere else or when people come to the office. But this whole COVID thing kind of shook things up a little bit, didn't it? It caused your customers to back off of some of their orders, some of their purchases, like it did for everybody. How did you address this? Because the way I look at it, you guys really addressed it head on. You didn't slink back from this or hunker down. You just went straight into it and said, we're going to be bold. We're going to take some bold moves. What did you do to make sure that you become a third generation company someday?
So immediately we came together as a team. I will start with saying we have an incredible team here. And I said, let's hit the ground running. We're going to reach out to every client and we're going to do 3 tiers. And we're going to make sure that every single person that has dealt with Specialties Plus knows their worth and that we care. So we sent out massive amounts of product that were, of course, eco-conscious. And just saying, we understand what you're feeling. We're feeling it. And really took a look at where we wanted to go through the COVID process. And so it made us look at our branding, changing the brand, maybe starting even a little sister to the brand that focuses on eco-conscious living. Those that are escaping, say, from the cities, they're coming into our area. And what's something they can take away to where they stayed. So with that, we are kind of really excited to announce a new subsidiary to our company, and that would be our new branded dwelling. So this is something to be on the lookout pretty soon.
So branded dwelling. So if I own an Airbnb, or if I own a bed and breakfast of some type, and I want people to remember my location when they go home, I want them to have some really nice eco-friendly things to take with them. You guys could help me. I thought you just worked with bigger companies.
So we work with big companies, small companies, all companies, and everybody is an equal player. I think that's something that people forget, that it's just the basics and treating the person you're working with equal, period. That person could one day become a huge CEO of a company and be like, hey, do you remember that bag you gave me 10 years ago? I really like the way you put it together. And well, I now can order 10,000 of these bags. And you go, wow, okay. You held on to it for 10 years and it's still being used and you remembered us. So it's a win.
And I think, too, it's one of those things, branded dwellings really focuses on everyone from the mom and pop bed and breakfast, like you said, all the way through even apartment complexes or hotels, giving something to take away and reuse. We have one-piece minimums that we can really get down to what you need and what your focus is and how you're going to be able to grow your rental.
I want to stop for just a second and remind people who are watching this that you are taking a page out of a playbook that's nearly 100 years old. When we looked at businesses in the Great Depression that made it out of the Great Depression and came out stronger than they went in, this is exactly the kind of thing they did. They looked at, where are the new markets? Where are the people who need what we have? And maybe let's shake things up. and go a different direction. We're still going to stick with our core. We're going to do what we've always done, but we're going to be bold. And so I'm just going to encourage everybody, if you've not yet taken bold action, now's the time. I mean, this is great, because now you're going to have potentially 2 huge target markets coming out of this instead of just the one. And I applaud you for that. I think it's great that you've done that. I think it's exciting, and I think we're going to see a lot of small players jump into this where they may never have thought about promotional items before. If you own an Airbnb, you can go to Amazon and you can order 5,000 bars of soap, for $20, or you can order 5,000 shampoos and conditioners and lotions. You can be the little hotel, but it's not brand. Even hotels, I think, have gotten away from branded stuff. When I go to Hilton brands, or when I go to Hyatt's, they don't have their brand on the bottles. But now we can actually brand these things for smaller hotels. I love this idea. Gosh, man, where do I invest?
You talk about the logos. Well, with our expansion, we've really tried to bring custom designed artwork or name drop design artwork that we can put the name of your rental property on. For instance, we have several different properties that we're working on right now that we created custom logos for. So it's not just about, getting that custom product. It's about having a custom logo to go with that product so that people remember specifically your place.
And it's ground up. So we're not just limited to, say, a mason jar. We're talking about everything from the cutting boards to the towels to the really soft Sherpa blankets that they have within the space, down to even hanging hammocks that are, again, eco, cotton infused, recycled. So it's thinking outside the box, having your brand everywhere, because when they do walk away, you want them coming back to your space, your place. And creating a branded space also means that it's yours. You're not a big Hilton. You're truly branded dwellings, or you're truly the Caribou Cottage or the Beach Box or whatever it may be for your space.
My wife loves bed and breakfast. That's where she wants to stay when we go somewhere. And I jumped on the Airbnb craze early on. I really just fell in love with that whole concept. And I thought, this is great. But I've been places before that if we didn't book it through a website, even if we did book it through a website, I have a hard time finding out where those places are. And I can't remember, well, what was the name of this place? But we keep everything. We keep coasters. We keep all this stuff. And if it's sitting around and we say, oh yeah, there it is, we need to go back there. That kind of creates that top of mind positioning for smaller businesses. And so you really, in a lot of ways, folks, Specialties Plus becomes a marketing arm of your business, because so many of us are just in the grind every day doing what we do. And we're not really thinking about the things that the folks at Specialties Plus are thinking about. How do we connect with our clients? How do we connect with our customers? And how do we maintain those connections long term?
That's the key, long term. You do not, or we feel like we aren't going to be your fit if you want to just come hang out for a day. We want you to come and hang out like for months and years at a time. We really want to develop with you and grow with you and watch what success comes your way, because you took the time to have a budget for these sort of items that maybe you hadn't thought about, and that you really, we want you to hang out for a while. So we are definitely not like a for imprint or something. That's totally not our jam.
And in hanging out, there are a lot of places where people can hang out with you, right? Not just your website, which is amazing. Again, I'm an email guy. A lot of times I don't even know what I want. I know I want something. And I just send an email to one of you, and all of a sudden it magically appears. I've got these images in my inbox, and you say, I would go with this. I'm like, okay, I will. But people can hang out with you on social media too. I know you've got a really strong Instagram presence. And you got the hashtag NC Swag Gals, which is kind of cool. So if you don't know where to find them on Instagram, Facebook, where else can people find you?
You can also check out LinkedIn. We post a lot of stuff there.
Okay.
I post some educational stuff too. So if you want to learn more about promo and what it can do for you, there'll be some little educational facts there too as well.
Very cool. You know, a lot of people need to think about LinkedIn as a social connector, a way to get in touch with other businesses. And you guys have done a good job with that. In full disclosure, I've mentioned that you do promotional items for Sequoyah Fund. In full disclosure, I actually made a video for you guys. I was so excited about this little thing you sent me that I went out in my backyard and did a video. I'm like, God, I can't believe that you guys would and you know, I'm not necessarily sure that this little round speaker is a great fit for what we do. We may find a reason to buy some of these in the future, but it's the size of a baseball, and it's a Bluetooth speaker. It sounds great, and it travels with me. Not that I've done a ton of traveling since all this started, but it goes with me. It stays in my backpack. It goes in my suitcase wherever I go, and I turn it on. It automatically hooks up to my phone, and I've got music or podcast or an audiobook wherever I am. So I want to say thank you for that. But when you have a business that connects so deeply with your clients that somebody's willing to make a video, you're doing something right. And
we appreciate that. And we had to keep in mind that was during the thick of like the beginning stages of COVID, right? So going to that tier, you should have gotten probably 3 things. And we had some snafus with the postal service. I'm not going to lie. We actually had to like say, guys, you might have been charged something. We'll credit it back because they didn't weigh it right, or some crazy things happened. But all in all, the main thing was we were thinking about you guys being home, wanted you to be able to be safe. That's why you got the bandanas, because, you know, we had a grocery shop. We didn't know what time we could grocery shop, how to do it. Was it safe? The music, the little speaker was for when you were hanging out at your house or wherever, gardening, whatever you were doing at that time to like take your mind off of the stressors that COVID really threw that curveball to all of us. And so it's really exciting to know that you held on to it, that you made that awesome video. I actually was asked if you would make videos for some of our other clients. I told them I would reach out and ask. I didn't know. So,
well, I have a face made for radio and a voice made for Braille. So sure, I'm in.
I'll let them know that.
Sure.
We love the videos, though. They're fantastic.
Well, you know, I think again, this is a lesson for people who are watching this. You could have hunkered down. You could have said, okay, we've had some orders drop off. We've had some orders put on hold or canceled because people are scared. No, there's a lot of uncertainty and we don't know what our income is going to look like and so forth. And you could have just said, okay, we're not going to do this. And you made an investment in your customers by reaching out and sending something. There's a cost to that. That cost you money to do that. And you still did that because those connections, those relationships are important. So folks, if you have an opportunity to reach out to your customers, to connect with them, to send them something, to say, we still care about you, these are your NC swag gals. These are the people you need to connect with to make that happen. If you drop off your customer's radar, when they have money to spend, they will spend it with someone else. So stay on the radar and get in touch with Specialties Plus of NC.com. Get in touch with Chris and Emily and their team. And guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being with us today. You've given us a lot of great information, a lot of stuff to look at, a lot of stuff to think about, and we're going to be buying more swag in the future. And so if you're watching this and you need something to stay in touch with your customers with and connect with them, I don't know any better people to talk to than Specialties Plus. Anything you want to add before we wrap up today?
Just thank you for having us. We appreciate the opportunity, and we always love talking to you.
Well, likewise, and I'm sure we'll be talking again real soon. Also, folks, if you have an Airbnb, bed and breakfast, small hotel, brandeddwellings.com, jump on there. This is a brand new thing. It is built for you, and we want to see you take advantage of that. I could talk about this all day, and I know another guy who could talk about this all day, but we're going to leave it for another time. Thank you so much for joining us today.